to preach good tidings to the meek. Go ahead.
See not. We don't see ourselves coming from our poverty into
and keep the commandments, right? And have the faith of Christ, right? So you can't eat that, brother. Jack is like a bottom feeder, man.
I sit alone in the zone, so gone. Just think about the scriptures, knowing I was living wrong. Praying that the Lord forgive me. In this walk, I'm going strong. As far as age, yeah, I'm grown, but spiritually a newborn. Not trying to be lukewarm, so weekly we bring it out. Yeah, them trumpets gon' get blown. True colors gon' get shown. If you ain't keeping the Lord and the Father, you never known. I promise I'm going home, just hope it's the first flight. Nightmares are the 2/3, them visions that give you frights. But either way that it go, His will gon' get us right. I'm talking like Lazarus, how the dead can come back to life. And I know it ain't gon' be easy like learning riding a bike. It's more like a marathon and you climbing like on a hike.
Like, what is he talking about? There's brothers that could, what? Like, what is he talking about?
You don't even know,
They're just speaking presumptuously.
Yeah, making assumptions.
Yeah, making assumptions. Like, we just be out here freeloading and just, yeah. We actually working men. But Yahweh Shai was a working man. He was right. Through the Spirit, and he was still out there evangelizing.
Verse 29. And now, Lord, behold their threatenings, and grant unto thy servants,
right,
that with all boldness,
right,
they may speak thy word.
Right, it said with great boldness we're going to speak the word. We're going to speak the words of the Most High.
Right.
If we got to cut a Hamite up, we're going to do that.
That's right.
If we got to cut even a wicked Jake, we're going to do that. Right. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy. I knew it wasn't sincere.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, somebody's definitely mocking. Like, I heard that.
Yep.
Somebody was mocking. Yeah?
That's what I said, mock.
Yeah, it's over with for him. Right, how you doing, Ken? How you feeling? You got the John on you, man. Yo, Ken, how you feeling? How you feeling? You good? Yeah, you good? Hey, all praises. You see yourself right here? Let me direct this John right here. You see yourself over here? Where you see yourself? Alright, so what's your nationality? Yeah. You say you got the Hallelujah Bible, you say you got the scripts and all that. I'm trying, you mean? You got this? Alright, what's your nationality? You said black. Alright, look, so I'm gonna show you, you know what I'm saying? Because that's fire that you got those type of Bibles. Now I'm gonna show you where to go to in those said Bibles to identify who our people are.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? Would you say that our people are cursed or blessed out here? We blessed in certain ways. But like as a nation, you said what? Okay. Now what people do we represent? Like what's their names? Yeah, you say Yahweh. Okay, that's one. Now what about Shema Shawan?
Right.
What about Ra'awabon?
Right.
Right. What about them? What about
Moshi Mario?
Yeah. So
Apario.
Yeah. All right. What about Benjamin or Laya?
Yeah.
What about them?
That's a
We're gonna put you on game. Let me get First Chronicles chapter 16 to 13. Let me get that joint real quick. Let me get Deuteronomy chapter 10. Let's start at verse 15. All praise. First Chronicles 16 to 13. Let me get this joint first real quick.
This is the book of First Chronicles, chapter 16 and verse 13. O ye seed of Israel, his servant, his children of Jacob, his chosen ones, his chosen ones.
So God had a chosen people on the face of the earth. Now, like you said, we them people. Right? Wiz Khalifa said we them boys. You know what I'm saying? That's us.
Right.
You feel me? However, we got to go in to find out, okay, who exactly are we respectively? You know what I'm saying? Bring this up. You said what? Exactly, what tribe we belong to. Because you got Native Americans, right? You'll say Native Americans, but you got the Choctaw Indians, you got the Blackwater, you got all these different types, right?
Blackfoot.
Blackfoot, that's what I mean. Cherokee, right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 15.
Yeah.
Only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers.
Right, so only the Lord had a delight in their fathers. He's speaking specifically to them, right? Go ahead.
To love them. And he chose their seed after them.
Go ahead.
Even you.
Even who?
Even you.
Go ahead.
Above all people.
He said what?
Above all people.
Go ahead.
As it is this day.
He said, even you, I have chosen your seed after you above all people as it is this day.
That's right.
So how do we identify who these people are? We clearly see that God has a chosen people in the Bible.
Right.
It's plain upon tables. So now let me get Deuteronomy chapter 28. Start at verse 45. You start at 45.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee, overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Right, because we didn't trust in the Most High God, right?
To keep his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee,
Right?
and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So these signs is going to be upon our seed forever. All these signs are going to dictate and show who the actual Israelites are as a nation. Right? You said it's us. Now, how you drew that conclusion? Yeah, how you
Because of the something about our sin.
From the Most High? Okay. Now, did you know, as far as like slave ships, did you know that was in the Bible? All right, bet. I'm just trying to gauge your. All right, bet. I'm just trying to gauge your mental capacity, what you holding in there, right? So, well, we got that aspect. Now, let me get limitation 5 and 5. I'm gonna just hold this because he said he knows the conclusion of how we got there. But I'm gonna still get this.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 5 and verse 5. Our necks are under persecution.
What?
Our necks are under persecution.
And as you know, in the times of slavery, what was going on with our necks? Were they giving us a neck massage and all that? Were they, trying to make sure they get all the kinks out, the knots out in your neck? Nah. They put iron, right? They put a rope around it. They did a lot of things. They even did it to our babies. Where's the baby gonna run off to? They're gonna crawl at most. They're gonna run off to. Why you put a yoke on the babies? Right? It's to show subjection. That's what they always did. Go ahead.
We labor and have no rest. We labor and have no rest.
We labor and have no rest. And that's even today's time. Right? If your job could, they would dead have you working 7 days out of the week. Right? What, yo? Like, I know a few people's jobs and all that. Even my job. They be talking about mandatory overtime. What do you mean mandatory? What if I don't want overtime? Give it to somebody else. What you mean mandatory overtime? I don't want it. So they're like, yeah, if you don't come in for this mandatory overtime, you're fired. Or you getting points and all that. That's crazy. You gonna force me to, like, what if I want to make more money? You gonna force me to make more money? That's crazy. It's really for their production though. That's what they do it for. Now, let me get a law. I'm gonna show you something as far as the laws, right? So you adhere to the laws as far as something that we have to keep. All praise. Let me get something right. Chapter 17 and verse 11.
Making moves in Atlanta back in
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 27. Ye shall not round the corners of your head, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
So you know what that's going into. Right? You can't shave your head, to Michael Jordan. You can't cut it to your natural lining of your beard. Right? Now, at times our people don't know that. Or our people aren't privy to it at times. But now that we understand, it's like, all right, bet, well, I gotta get right. That's not a grievous law. It's not a grievous commandment to keep. Right? Witness up.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of inheritance. And the law of inheritance.
The law of life for inheritance. Right? So these laws are not just a burdensome commandment and all that. These laws are actually a heritage, a culture that we follow. Right? So in order to be an Israelite and to move as an Israelite, right? Because not all Israel is Israel. To move and be on one accord as an Israelite is also to follow his commandments. Right? So now, is growing your beard a hard thing for you to do?
No, because we all think the law is grievous. We think it's something that's harmful to us.
Yeah.
We don't agree with it. We always gonna think something is harmful to us that we don't agree with.
Wait, say that last part one
We
more time.
always think something is harmful to us that we don't agree with.
Yeah, facts. Now, are the laws that? It shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Now, we got another one. Let me get numbers, 15. Let me get Deuteronomy 14 and 8. Right? Just step by step.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 15 and verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations.
You know what fringes are?
Facts. See, he on top of it.
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
Of course, as you see, if there was any brother out here that don't have a border of blue, point them out, and I promise you, I'm gonna get on them expeditiously. I'm gonna get on them. Like, it ain't gonna be no like. If some of them got them tucked, tell them to untuck. Like, yo, Gabaria, you got your blue ribbon? Yeah, see, you gotta point them out. You know what I'm saying? If they lack it, you gotta get on them. I'll give you full permission. Hey, get on them. Whoever ain't got it. Real red. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 39. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them.
And what?
And do them.
Right? It's a physical reminder. Our people are hard-headed. They need a physical reminder. Yeah, they stiff-necked. We need a physical reminder. Right before you about to go and then, all right, I'm about to go. Anything you about to do that's on the left-hand side, you gotta go down here for something. You know, boy about to go over here and commit adultery. You know what I'm saying? He gotta go past the pen. Damn, I can't do that. Yeah, he gotta lift him up. That's off. Yeah, that's off. That's off as hell. Right? He wanna go and, go buy some weed and all that. Right. You gotta go to his wallet and, damn, man. If that doesn't conflict you, you just overly wicked. Right. If that doesn't conflict you to be like, dang, I need the second thing, you overly wicked, man. It might not be that's overly wicked. You just like, you flip it this way. You know, he started tucking it in. That's off, man. Yeah, might as well not wear it. Right. But he want to keep numbers 15. So technically, he's not going. That's wicked, man. Right? What else I had? Oh, it said. Oh no, keep going. It's more now.
And remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them.
Right.
And that ye seek not after your own hearts,
right,
and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a-whoring.
Because that's really what's been our downfall. We see something that we like and we just lust after it, and we go and try to be a go-getter. And then it leads to our destruction. Every time, when you look at the so-called black community, that's exactly what happens. That's why the envy is so crazy in our neighborhoods. The envy is so crazy in our neighborhoods because it's like, yo, he got the fives on, and I ain't got the bread to go kind of get them, so what's your size? I want them. Yeah, they look good. Yeah, that's wild. Instead of, hey, go get it. Go, you know what I'm saying? Work for it. You think this man just got them up just off the strength? No, work for it. That's what you're supposed to do. Bring this up.
This is the last one. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, and verse 8. Right. And the swine, because
you know what swine is, right?
And the swine, because it divided the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud. Right. It is unclean to you. Right. Yet ye shall not eat their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass.
So that's plain. We can't even eat pork. We can't even touch their dead carcass. Right. That's how unclean it is. It's mad dirty. But we in the dirty South, that's all they try to eat on. Damn, rooted to the tutor. A boy at my job, Dad was talking about getting the little Lay's chips and making a little pig lip sandwich. Like, that is crazy. That is wild, bro. That is, yes. A pig lip sandwich. I'm not BSing. I'm dead. What the hell? I'm like, where y'all do that at? Like, what? And he was telling me that joint busted. I'm like, no. That is trash, bro. You might as well get 2 Lay's chips and get some feces and pop it in your mouth. That's nasty. Right. Yeah. Now, do you eat pork? Hey, he said he refrained from that. He don't even touch that pork. Right. Now, keep going.
Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Right. All that have fins and scales shall ye eat. Right. And whatsoever have not fins and scales, ye may not eat. Right. It is unclean to you.
Right, so it said things without fins and scales. Which is what? Yeah. What about you? The things that's in the waters. What don't have fins and scales in the water? It said what in the waters don't have fins and scales? He said catfish, that's one of them. Yeah, shrimp. Yeah, savages, facts. The bottom feeders and all that. Did you know that was against the Most High God? Right. Now what about pork? Did you know that? Oh, crazy. Now do you indulge in either?
Yes, sir.
Who? You do indulge? Okay. So what's been keeping you from pleasing the Most High on that aspect?
All the other meat just contaminated as that is.
I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest.
No, I get you, because in the book of Ezekiel, it does say that at a certain point we'll be eating at the foul bread amongst the Gentiles. However, to the best of our ability. That's why we have these scripts. Let me get Judges 5 and 11.
Refuse with prayer and supplication. Now, what about that scripture?
Yeah, now with that scripture, that's actually not talking about all meats. When you actually go into, like let me get Romans 14 for example. I'm gonna give you an example. Let me get so like, hey, I can use you real quick.
Let's do it.
Let me get 1 Corinthians 8 chapter, just to show you when it comes to context, context is everything. Get Romans 14 and 1.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 5 and verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers and the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of the hills in Israel.
God said there in that place, in our captivity right now, says rehearse the righteous acts. Now, you got Romans 14 and 1? Yeah, bring this up.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 14, verse 1. Him that is weak to the faith receive ye, but not to the doubtful disputations. For one believeth that he may eat all things, another who is weak eateth herbs.
Right, so you had different disputations in different churches about what said diets that you should have. One is in the aspect of meats, and one is in the aspect of...
No, church was being established. The church was not established at that time.
What you mean? The Church of Rome? The Church of Rome was established.
No, I said at that time of writing, it was not established.
And the time, no, this is an actual letter. So this is actually established at that time. This is a physical letter that Paul is. Yeah, that he wrote to the established church in Rome. Because he's talking to the hierarchy and the saints that are in Rome.
Okay.
You read that in the...
Paul's letter was to the Romans, but not to the Jews?
No, it was to the saints being the Jews in Rome. Right, go to Romans, the first chapter, verse 7. And go to Psalms.
Jews been in everything since.
I'll show you through the scripture.
Asking us.
Let me get 148 and 14.
The Southern Kingdom.
One and, let me see. No, 7.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 1, and verse 7. To all that be in Rome, beloved.
No, you good.
He was asking what is the northern and the southern kingdom.
Oh yeah, no, all praise to the Most High. Now I saw you was breaking it down to him. Yeah, facts. So the southern kingdom is what you would see on the map being the southern portion of Israel, which consisted of these 3 tribes. At first it was just 2, Judah and Benjamin. But Levi left the northern portion, the northern kingdom, and intermingled and went back to the southern kingdom. So they started putting their suburbs over there. So now, real quick, bring that out one more time.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 1, and verse 7. To all that be in Rome, beloved of God, called to be saints. Called to be saints. Grace to you and peace from God, our Father and Lord, Jesus Christ.
Right? In the Hebrew, Yahushua. Now bring this up. I'm going to show you who the saints were.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 148 and verse 14. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel. Even of the children of Israel.
Right, because even Paul himself was actually a Roman. However, he was an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. As you read in Romans, the 11th chapter, Philippians, exactly. So that's what that's talking about as far as citizenship, as far as like, those are those Romans. So when you actually go to Romans 7 and 1, I'm going to show you. Because when they was given that decree as far as what is it, pray over that food with, supplication and prayer and supplication. I'm going to show you who he's talking to, Romans 7 and 1.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 7, and verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them.
He said what?
For I speak to them that they know the law.
Not that they know the law.
That know the law.
Right, so he said, I speak to them that know the law. So when he's telling them, hey, pray over, like taking that food with prayer and supplication, they know the law. So they're not talking about any food, those specific foods in the dietary law.
Dietary law. Okay.
Exactly, that's what they're praying over for supplication, because you had in Romans the 14th chapter, the ones that were scared to eat of it, because they're like, I'm only going to eat herbs, but then you have some that's like, I'm going to eat meats. Then you had this case in 1 Corinthians the 8th chapter.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 8. Which one? Verse 6? Which one? This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 8 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
But meat commandeth us not to God. For neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse. But take heed, lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak.
You had some that were weak in the faith, and you had some that were strong in the faith. So those that were strong in the faith, they was making a stumbling block for those that were weak in the faith. They're like, no, just eat that. In this context, it was offering to idols. Right? So that's why he was saying, even in that chapter, don't be asking questions about the meats in the meat market. Right? Because then you know, now that they your mind is gonna be perverted, now you're gonna be scared. Now you're gonna turn into the Romans 14, the ones that are only gonna eat herbs now. Because they got ran off because the ones that were high stature, exactly, ran them off. They scared them. Go ahead, bring this up.
And this is just to get the context of that 1 Timothy. This is 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 3. Forbidding to, so like I started verse 2, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats.
Again, you had some that were of a said stature that was convincing the weaker to like, yo, abstain from, don't even marry. Don't even tell them not to marry. There's no sin in marriage. Like the Lord said, be fruitful and multiply.
Right.
But then you also had them saying, look, abstain from meats. So that's why later in that Timothy, he was like, look, take those meats and with prayer and supplication, honor it to the Most High. Right? So it was talking about strictly the dietary.
Still talking about dietary.
Exactly. Talking about those actual things. Because even when you read Acts the 15th chapter, even Paul spoke on the dietary law as far as no eating meats with blood in it, strangled with beasts, right? Offered to idols. Like he reenacted and spoke on more things regarding the law, right? So, but that was a good question because it gets very misconstrued. Oh, you got it.
This is 1 Kings chapter 4 and verse 23. Starting at 22, it says, and Solomon's provision for one day was 30 measures of fine flour and 60 measures of meal, 10 fat oxen and 20 oxen out of the pastures, and 100 sheep, besides harts and roebucks and fallow deer and fatted fowl. So as you were saying that some meats, like all meat is kind of whatever, but actually the Lord commanded us that we can eat some meats. You could choose not to. If you don't, that's not a sin. But if a brother's eating chicken or deer or oxen or cow, that's okay, but not ham, pepperoni, and clams and stuff like that. Right, exactly.
Because we be putting people on game. My boy from Jersey, this man had lamb bacon. I ain't never heard of that joint before. Yeah, lamb bacon, that's wild. You know what I'm saying?
Is it good?
I don't know, he ain't put me on. Yo, look, you got people that gatekeep, right? He's a gatekeeper. And if he watching, you're a gatekeeper. He know who he is. He gatekeep. I know you probably had beef bacon before. I like that joint. It's smack. You know what I'm saying? I want to be some. Yeah. And he had chicken bacon. He be holding back. He be holding out, bro.
Bacon is fire too.
Chicken bacon?
Salmon bacon.
Salmon.
What?
Whoa.
See, bro, that's different, yo. Now let me show you something.
Show me something, brother.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God.
He said, so we keep the commandments of God and what?
And the faith of Yahushua.
And the faith of Yahushua, who the world calls Jesus. Exactly. So we teach obviously both, something that the actual Pharisees failed at. You know what I'm saying? Because they would teach and do not. Right? And some of them, not all of them, but some of them, they didn't believe in Christ.
Right.
However, the Bible teaches you gotta have both. It's like your peanut butter and your jelly. Right. You gotta have both. Nobody, I hope nobody out here eating no peanut butter sandwich. Like, no peanut butter sandwich, y'all are crazy. I ain't gonna, y'all are crazy. But yeah, you gotta have both. What?
Dre.
That's crazy.
Peanut butter and honey.
But look, peanut butter and honey. Now listen, you can deal with that. He was in ISS. In school suspension. Yeah, I know what he got the little body. Go ahead.
I ain't gonna just how do I ease away from back away from?
Hey, all praise to the Most High. Yeah, I was about to say, hey. Now let me get Acts 17 already. Let me get. So what? Oh, go ahead.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 17 and verse 30. And the time of his ignorance, God winked at it.
Right? Because at a certain point, we were ignorant to certain things, certain devices, certain scriptures, certain breakdowns, etc. as well as us. Like me, I was fortunate. I'm allergic to dealing with it, you know what I mean? But like at a certain point, I was into pork. Right, there's a lot of brothers in here that was probably into pork, shredded, to triple baconator.
Right.
That's a heart attack. He said, 21 and 1.
So you gonna help me, right?
Yeah, right.
Tell me what, yeah.
Yeah, we got you.
And the time of this ignorance, God winked at it.
Right.
But now commandeth all men everywhere to repent.
So I was going through the process. So the first process is acceptance and understanding. So he said, now that you have that, it said, now in the time of your ignorance, God winked that, so the Most High winked that. So of course, as the Most High for mercy and prayer, right? And for that spirit to back off of it. Get this real quick.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 29. And if their right eye offend thee, pluck it out. Pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and none that the whole body should be cast into hell.
Right? So again, also in the aspect of acknowledgement, I got 2 fire ones for you as well. For this one, it said if your right hand offend thee, cut it off. Right. So finding out, okay, this is my vice for that. I go inside this store, or it might be an actual store that you go to specifically for that.
Right.
You might have to cut that store out.
Right.
It might be hard, but you gotta cut that store out. Right. And then try to find an alternative. As I say, you gotta find a different vice, but a healthy vice to overstimulate that negative that you had at times in your forefront. Right? Let me get this.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 25.
Right? Actually, start at verse 20. Yeah, 25.
What book did you say?
Sirach 17 and 25. You'll find it in here.
In your pocket?
In your pocket.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Return unto the Lord and forsake thy sins.
Right.
Make thy prayer before his face.
So make thy prayer before his face and what?
And offend less.
And do what?
And offend less.
Because it's not always just an overnight thing that something just passes away.
Just ease back,
Exactly.
ease back gradually. Don't go with the, I got you.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Because like that's just like me being ignorant and telling a heroin addict, yo, stop the next day. I'll be dumb because he might withdraw and then get a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? But it is the aspect of using that discernment and trying to sin less before the Most High. We good at that.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 21, and verse 1.
Right.
My son, hast thou sinned?
So have we sinned? There's multiple sins that we didn't know about, sins that we're still committing and still don't know. That's why we have to actually read. Go ahead.
Do so no more. But ask pardon for thy former sins.
So it said, but to ask pardon for, now hold it. It said, but ask pardon for your former sins. So asking the Most High, as it said, making that prayer for your former sins, like, hey, okay, I acknowledge I did this, X, Y, Z. Offend less by trying to cut that right hand off, and then what?
Flee from sin as from a face of a serpent.
So now you identify it, you look at it as a serpent. I know you the man of the house, but if you sit there anaconda, we ain't rocking with that.
Yeah, we ain't.
Yeah, heck no, it's sliding. Like, okay, look, wifey, I know I'm thinking about I'm sliding though. We better jump out the window. I ain't fighting that one. It's over with. Go ahead.
For if thou comest too near, it will be bite thee.
Right? Because if you come too close near it, it might just bite you. Right? It might just bite you. Oh yeah. This guy. Yeah. That's crazy.
I'm a little bit older than that. I'm old school, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I know this.
Right. Hey, all praises, man. All praises. So with that being said, right, y'all nationality, do you know what y'all nationality would be? According to the Bible.
What would it be?
See that? Now, did y'all know, I know y'all know that the Bible has prophecy. I know y'all know that. Playing upon tables. Now, did you know that the Most High God put in a prophecy for the so-called blacks and Latinos? Now, I'm going to show you. Let me get Deuteronomy. That's that header. Yeah.
28.
Huh?
Deuteronomy 28.
Easy.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Easy. Deuteronomy 28 and jump to verse 68. Now, let me get Deuteronomy 5 and 6.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Right. So, you know what the Israelites are doing in Egypt? Right. What were they doing?
Israelites doing in Egypt?
Yeah. What were the Israelites doing in Egypt? Right. Do you know about that, sis? Well, both of y'all sisters. Y'all know about that? that the Israelites were in slavery in Egypt? They not.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm talking about you.
No, I don't. I heard a little bit, but I don't know everything.
All right, bet. Well, that's what we're showing. That the Israelites in times past, they were slaves in Egypt, right? Not everybody was on a hierarchy status. Now, the Egyptians were of high status, but the Israelites, they were servants unto them, right? Actually, let me get that in Judah 5 and 11.
This is the book of Judah, chapter 5 and verse 11.
Right.
Therefore, the king of Egypt rose up against them,
Right.
and dealt subtly with them,
Right, so they was sneaky.
and brought them low with laboring in brick,
Right.
and made them slaves.
And did what?
And made them slaves.
Right.
So it's context to it. So when he said I'm gonna bring you into Egypt again, it's talking about exactly slavery, right?
Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Yo.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again
Right.
with ships.
What?
With ships.
Now, how did they come out the first time out of Egypt?
He walked out.
They walked.
He came in his ship. Yeah.
Right. But now it's saying that they're gonna go back into the same conditions, this time with ships. Now, who did that happen to in history?
Us?
It happened to our people.
Right.
And this is a future prophecy that was supposed to happen. When you read the Bible, it never happened inside the Bible, right? Never. Even when it came to the Assyrian captivity, they were just brought over, right? Now, keep going.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee,
Right.
thou shalt see it no more again.
Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
It says that there you're going to be sold unto your enemies, to an opposition, someone that is opposing of you. That actually happened, right? Go ahead.
For bondman
Slave men,
and bondwoman,
slave woman,
and no man shall buy you.
and no man shall buy you. And our
Wow, freedom.
yeah, nobody bought our freedom
Nobody
back
back, yeah,
at all.
yeah.
That's why we still here. We still pay the taxes, right? It's all these things that is still built up.
Yeah.
It's still from the product of that captivity. So it shows you that the Most High God said the Israelites was going to go through that. But in today's time, who is that happen to?
He knows that. And us.
Exactly. Exactly. So that would make us, by process of elimination, and that's just one. That's literally the last verse in verse 68. From 15 to 68, some lists, some crazy lists. So that means that our people would be the Israelites.
Right.
We would be the Israelites according to the Bible, his chosen
So
people.
those people that occupy Israel now, what?
Good
So
question.
let's get it. Let me get Revelations. We can get 2 and 9, 3 and 9. You know, and the Lord prophesied, he said a bastard would dwell in Ashdod.
Ezekiel 36 and 2.
Ezekiel 36, man. Print this out.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9.
Yo.
I know thy works
So their work.
and tribulation
And you familiar. Go ahead.
and poverty.
So, and they talk about tribulation. Yeah, the damn Timu Jews and all that. They, you know what I'm saying? They had their little thing going on with
For a
the,
little while.
yeah. But like when you match up the slavery of the so-called blacks and
Versus World
Latinos
War II.
versus
Don't
what?
compare. Don't compare.
Not even a close comparison.
Not even close comparison.
It's barely like a 16th of a fraction of what we had to deal with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Still.
Exactly. And mind you,
To this day.
by their same people though. They're just, look, when it goes into German, Russian, then English, and French, those is different flavors of white people. That's all it is.
That's all they are.
That's all it is. It ain't nothing extremely different.
that different?
No. Y'all just different. Yeah, y'all just different basic seasonings. Like, that's it. Y'all just, one of them's kosher salt, one of them is like, not even salt. It's like, yours is like alkaline water seasoned on the chicken. Yours is like purified water on chicken. Yours is boiled water on the chicken. That's all it is.
They all classified it.
You know what I'm saying? But now keep going.
But thou art rich.
It said, and their poverty. What poverty are they on? The media. They run that.
Yeah.
Like what? You can't even speak against them.
Yes, you can shut
Right.
Everybody can speak against us.
all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And I know the blasphemy
Now, and he says blasphemy. Go ahead.
of them which say they are Jews
Go ahead.
and are not,
Right.
but are the synagogue of Satan.
But they're literally the synagogue of Satan. Them Timu Jews and all that, they know what's going on. That's why they
Right.
call themselves Israelis. You clearly know the modern Hebrew. There was no Israelis, it's the Israelites. Why y'all so scared to say that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They know what's up. They know what's going on. So,
They know.
So,
Yeah.
so you saying these stolen heritage?
hey, let me get Lamentations chapter 5, verse 1. It's a fact. That's a fact. Let me get Jeremiah 50 and 16.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 5 and verse 1. Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach.
Now, we're asking the Most High to restore us. Consider our reproach. Go ahead.
Our inheritance.
Our inheritance. What did we inherit? The language, right? The land, right? The laws. All these different things. Those were our inheritance. Go ahead.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
It's turned to who?
It's turned to strangers.
Now our inheritance is turned to strangers. I don't know these dudes. They're foreign. Right? Go ahead.
Our houses to aliens.
And our houses to our aliens. Go ahead.
We are orphans and fatherless.
Now we're looked at as orphans and fatherless because they took the name of the Most High God away. That's our actual father that they took away from us. We don't have no more.
Gave us this thing.
They gave us, gave us this freak bull. We gave us this freaky behind, Go ahead.
Our mothers are widows.
And now our mothers are widows. Right, go ahead.
We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us.
Now keep going.
Our necks are under persecution.
Right.
We labor and have no rest.
Said our necks are under persecution, which they actually literally did. And it says we labor and have no rest. Man, listen, it takes more than even when it comes to exercising, it literally takes about good 3 days to kind of like restore yourself after a crazy workout.
Exactly.
Your muscles got to build back together. When we labor at work, they barely give us 2 days to kind of recover, and then we jump right back into it. And I told them earlier, like even at my job, even at my job, it's 6 days for real because they be doing mandatory overtime for them. I don't do it because you know what I'm saying, I'm with the Sabbath, you know, I keep the Sabbath. I ain't going, we can't move left or right. But they 6 days a week. They would kill you with 7 days a week if they could. Because that's what they did on the slave fields. They did exactly that. You collapse.
That was sun up, sun down though.
That's what I'm saying. Sun up. Wait till it gets to its peak. No rest. All the way to the sun down just to do it right back over again. Every single day. There was no break. If you had a promotion, you was overseeing while you're still out there.
It even made it harder on us by taking away our stuff.
Just to make it hard. And man,
and we had to do it still on time.
And it still had to get that revenue in.
Exactly.
They still did that, man. Then what else I asked for? 50 is, Psalms 50 and 16. Let me get that Michael chapter 2.
We gotta get the homeless man.
Hey, all praise. This is gonna be the last one.
I got you.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Go ahead.
When the morning is light, they practice it.
So you have a certain man that's in charge that's practicing evil, working up different devices of evil, of wickedness. Go ahead.
Because it is in the power of their hand.
Because nobody can tell them no. Go ahead.
And they covet fields.
They covet fields.
And take them by violence. And houses. And take them away.
Right, because how in the world did Jerusalem get overtaken? During 70 AD. The Romans came in and they purged out the Israelites. Go ahead.
And houses. And take them away. So they oppress a man and his house. Even a man and his heritage.
They literally took the men and their heritage away from them. So that's exactly, man, it's crazy. That's how it goes to show that the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native and Seminole Indians, our message is to teach our people to wake up, to know who they are, and to follow after the Most High God in sincerity. And of course, have faith in Yahweh Shah, not that dog, man. What's your name?
Jarvis, man.
Jarvis. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. This dude. Hey, all praise to the Most High, man. Right? Hey, you been attentive, man. You been real attentive. Come on. Come here. What's your name, Who? Oh, John? Oh, see, we should have had the other John here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta have battle to see which John. Yeah, see that? You know what I'm saying? But hey, so I talked to bro, right? Now you was listening. I know you was, cause like your ear was hit. Your ear was glued. Like the whole time I'm looking back, making sure you there. You right there. You feel me? Now I have a question. What's your nationality?
Like the frankincense of Mark.
Good question.
According to the Most High God. according to the Most High. Yeah, according to the Most High God. Yeah, alright. I mean, you kind of slipped that in there, you know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah. But like, what would God call you as a race?
Well, I'm sorry, but I always been taught and accept everything after miracles.
Right, exactly. That's what they was taught. You know what I'm saying? And then, like you said, we accepted it. Because, why did we accept it? We didn't know. Right? So let me get Jeremiah 17:4. We didn't know. That's why we accepted it. They always say, if you ain't gonna stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything. But it's hard to find something to stand on if the ground is not secure. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have to go back. Let me get Job, what you got? 17. Alright, let me get Job 8 and 8. Let me get that.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies. To serve thine enemies. And the land which thou knowest not.
So it said a certain people are going to discontinue from their heritage. Now, what people do you know that cause themselves out of a color out of a crayon box?
Good question.
Think about it. Is there anybody that calling themselves purple? Is there anybody calling themselves green? Now, is there people calling themselves black? Yeah, ain't that crazy? Is there a language called Blackanese? Right, so that's not an actual culture. You know what I'm saying? And then when we ask what's black culture, they might say what? What, fried chicken? That's not no... Yeah, that doesn't make up black culture. You know what I'm saying? R&B music. And R&B music hit. Feel me? Hey, they hit. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I like the old Jones, you know what I'm saying? The 90s, 80s is cool, but I like them, like the back. Facts? But that doesn't define black culture. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, right? Does gang violence, does that dictate who we are?
Oh, definitely not.
Most definitely not, but that's what's portrayed. All these things that we talking about, that's what's portrayed as black culture. Because there is no solid foundation of what so-called black culture actually is. When you find that foundation and know where we actually go back to, us being actual kings, man, let me get Ecclesiastes. You got what you got?
Can I ask you a question?
Of course you got some questions.
I mean, you're definitely right. But think about how many times that our race came. Well,
right.
Over the centuries, over the years, how many times we don't came from color, black, African American.
And that's crazy. They never did that with no other nation. The Chinese been the Chinese for like 4,000-5,000 years or something. You know, I'm exaggerating 4,000-5,000 years. I'm just saying in general. You know what I'm saying? For mad long. The Japanese, they've been the Japanese for mad long. How come we had to go from Negro, colored, Afro-American? Like, bro, so I gotta be our people if I gotta have an Afro to be our people to be Afro-American. That don't make no damn sense. We all didn't have Afros. Some had, we just had corsets. Some of us didn't always have corsets. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they want the, you know what I'm saying, the soul glow, they want the Jerry curls in there, you know what I'm saying? They want, and the Jerry curls in that joint. Does that disannoy you for being our people?
The 60s and the 70s was about the Afro.
Yeah, facts. It was. But that's what I'm saying. They started just labeling based off of what they seeing and all that. Right? That's not who we were. Color. And then, that's what, look, I'm gonna tell you, that's what makes me mad. I'm gonna go to that script, 'cause that's a fire script. That's what makes me mad though. Cause they be over here where? Yeah, like what's up with that, y'all come over here, let me talk to y'all. See, we gotta get our sister out of that, Nah, for real. Like you see, she's perpetrating. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, she's perpetrating
a blonde
hair woman. You wanna know why? Because it taught our women like that's what beauty is. That blonde hair, that's that beauty. Our women have, bro, I'm gonna tell you, our women have, man. Let me get Ezekiel 16 and 11. Our women, the best hair, fact. But like even the eyes, when they go into the eyes, our women be having the most beautiful deep brown eyes. But it's taught that if you have color eyes, it's more beautiful. Which are recessive genes. Those are recessive traits. That's not a dominant trait. Those are recessive genes, right? They say, right? They talk about the blonde hair and all that. That's recessive genes, right? Yeah, y'all tighten up on that side. Make sure board on.
I'm gonna ignore that. I'm gonna just. God damn.
Don't stop doing what you do.
Yeah, nah, I gotta ignore that, yeah. What was he talking about? See? Yeah, the blonde hair. Yeah. The blonde hair, right? That blonde hair, see, that threw me off. That blonde hair is taught to be beauty. You know what I'm saying? Lighter, fair skin is taught to be beautiful when our male and female all come in different shades of brown, right? Yeah, like as a speckled bird, as it says in Hosea. That's what we were. But our people is, like I said, they're portrayed a certain way because they don't actually know their culture. They don't know where that royalty came from, right? I'm gonna show where that royalty came from because I like your point. Bring this up. I know you had something.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 11. Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance.
For what?
For inheritance.
Because the laws and the knowledge of the Most High God was our heritage. That was our true culture. That's what identifies a culture. How you dress, that's a culture, right? How you eat, right? Your dietary, that's your culture, right? How you treat your brothers, yeah. How you treat your brothers, that's a culture, right? Hey, what the heck? Yeah. Okay. Yo, people be real weird out here. I don't give it a fuck. But that show, fact. Let me get what you have? Alright, you can hold that. Let me get Jeremiah 62. Let me get that real quick. Let me get
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verse 11. I deck thee also with ornaments.
No, I'm gonna ask, man, hold on. What? Nah, it's something else I was thinking about. Nah, you got it. It's something else I was thinking about.
And I put bracelets upon thy hands, and a chain on thy neck, and I put a jewel on thy forehead, and earrings in thy ears. And
these are high quality, right? We had the high quality things. Our women had the jewels on the forehead, like that. Come on, yo. Now you got the East Indians and all that. They do that trying to perpetrate. No, we had that joint. That was us. Y'all biting off of our women. Because when you think about it, right? Yeah, I said it. When you think about it, right? If every nation tries to emulate our women, facts. Every nation tries to emulate them in any way, shape, or form. Right? Whether the way they talk, the way they dress, the way they act, right? But none of them can do it like our women do. If they knew that, if she knew that, you knew better, you would do better. Like, that's a fact.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Same thing with our men, though. Our men is famished out here. Our men think going on drills, smoking weed is a real nigga. Right. They think that's what makes a man. It's not what makes a man. At all. Go ahead.
I'll tell you. You go here. When we got the right to be able to do ass, right?
You said the right to do what?
When we got the rights to be able to do as we are to do today, right?
Okay.
Right? You understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying now.
All right. So now we're able to come out of poverty. Those of us who got educated enough to come out of poverty, and what was the first place they went to?
Yeah, what the first place they go to? They go to the suburbs and all that.
Go to the suburbs.
Yeah.
Go to
Just
out
try,
there where they at.
Yeah, try intermingling.
Right.
Yeah.
And then your child being raised
and that's 60.
Right. And those of us who stayed in the poverty, struggling, trying to come out of poverty.
Exactly, trying to come out.
Get caught up in the streets and all the other fools.
Right. That's a fact.
So that's the ignorance you talking about.
Yeah.
Again, you know what I'm saying? Because we got not being taught.
Exactly, because not being. Let me get that Hosea 4:6. You got it?
You got the ball.
Now, what you have?
I had something.
Oh, okay. We're gonna touch on that. That's a fact. That's a fact, King. That's a fact. Hey, wise words, man. That's a 100.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6.
Bring it out.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
That's what would literally destroy a whole nation.
Right.
Is a lack of knowledge. That's what would destroy a kingdom. Exactly. But that's why you see brothers out here. Let me get Luke 14 and 23. That's why you got brothers out here
having to do what we do.
Right.
We have to do this. We're literally commanded to. The Lord said, hey, go do that. We can't hide, man. I just brought that up. Let me get Matthew. You already in there. Let me get Matthew the 5th chapter, verse 17. I literally just talked about that.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 14 and verse 23. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges.
Where we at? Feel me? Come on, something.
And compel them to come in.
And to compel is not just like, hey, look, hey, brother, come on. Nah, we gotta jack them up. Like, yeah, come here. Like, yeah, we gotta compel them. We gotta damn near force them. You know what I'm saying? To come in. Right? Stop acting like a nigga, yo. Act like a king. Come do something right. Yeah. Right. And to get ready. Right? And then the ones that are ready, stay ready. Right?
And I bet you need to catch them when they like it.
Hey, a lot of times, hey, in the scriptures said, train up a child while he, you know what I'm saying? In the way they should go. You won't depart from it. Right? Go ahead.
And compel them to come in, that my house may be filled.
Right? That the Most High God's house shall be filled. That's literally what we're doing. We're building the temple of the Most High God. That's why you have, like, literally, we just came from Indiana. Right? We got brothers in Indiana. We got brothers in France. And in London. We got brothers in Trinidad, in Jamaica. Right? We got brothers in the Bay Area, in LA. You know what I'm saying? Chicago. We have to do this. Because that's thus saith the Most High. Right. You understand? That's of the Lord. You got brothers that's doing it over in Africa. With the remnant of our people that's over there. Right? It's everywhere, man.
I think that's how God works.
Exactly. So now, I'm going to show you 3 things. Right? Because I showed you in the aspect of what happened to the actual Israelites. As far as they was discontinued from their heritage. They forgot who they were. They did not understand who they were because they weren't taught. Like we said, they was taught that there was colored, niggas, African Americans. You said who? Oh yeah, we gonna hope like that. Right? Taught that there was spit, right? Wetbacks and all that, coons, jigaboos, porch monkeys. It's called all types of stuff. Oh no, it just came back to my mind. I don't like that joint about the color comment. You know how they be saying we're colored and all that. But like, yo, you hit them, they turn to like 5 different colors. It's either white, green, purple, but we colored. That don't even make any sense. They turn more colors than us. They even turn black. The one color they hate, they also turn. Ain't that crazy? That what?
No, their funerals be fast because they turn black after they die.
Yeah.
They can't stay out.
Edomite die, they funeral on Monday.
Yeah, they do that joint expeditious.
You feel me?
Yeah, they can't hold on for a little time, but they gotta do it quick. Cause they know that boy about to shrivel up and be all black and all that, and they're like, yeah, like a vampire. Facts. That's a fact. Bring this up.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3.
Right. No.
The ox knoweth his owner,
right,
and the ass his master's crib.
Right.
But Israel,
It said what?
But Israel,
we are the Israelites. It says, but Israel, go ahead.
But Israel doth not know.
Right.
My people doth not consider.
Our people don't even consider. That's who they are. That they, our people, when you tell them that God's chosen people, they freak out. They're like, no, what about this? What about these people? What about them? What about them? Like they start pointing fingers of what about? Ain't none of them said that. When they was out there in the United Nations board, they don't be like, man, what about the so-called African American? They don't do that. They don't do that. When they coming up with all these different laws and bills, come on, yo. The so-called, what's it called? The so-called Chinese and all that, they got their reparations within months. What happened to ours? They didn't go through nothing. They just had people just calling them out their names and stuff like that. But us, what? And we ain't get nothing. We ain't get no 40 acres, no mule. We ain't get a piano, a guitar. Yeah, we ain't get no beads, no trinkets. We didn't get land. They ain't give us nothing. But then they get a whole grant of like millions of dollars just for being called out their names and stuff like that. And being harassed. How many times are we harassed? And shot down in the streets, unlawfully, unjustly.
I don't think we know what's acceptable.
We know, of course. That's why it says we still 3/5 of a human. In the Constitution, we was never accepted. But our people, again, our people fell from this, so they start moving towards this. And they start being, what's it called? Correlating and accommodating themselves and trying to intermingling themselves in a society that never was with them. That's Lamentations 4:17.
They can't
Say we
use
have watched for a nation that cannot save us.
Right. If they can't use you, then they will.
Oh, most definitely.
That's all about it.
Exactly. Why do you think our people is out? Why do you think our people in these conditions? A lot of our people are real life veterans out here. He could be, and I don't know his story, but he could have been a veteran. He could have been a veteran. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't take care of him. After they was done using him, squeezing him up all his resources, they tossed him out. That's a fact. What else I had? Now, I'm gonna read you two things. I think my time about to be up for real. Yeah, about to be out. I'll let you bring out a point. Now, Deuteronomy 14:8. Let me hold that. Got 14:8?
Yeah. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
And the swan.
Now, you know what swan is? Pig, facts. You eat that?
I have.
You have, all right.
Because it divides the hoof, yet to have not the blood, it is unclean unto you.
Said what?
It is unclean unto you.
So the pork is actually mad unclean, right? It's dirty to us. You know what I'm saying? That was a part of our culture and our heritage. Right, go ahead.
Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass.
You can't even touch their dead carcass. You know how royal that is? You know how bougie you gotta be to not even touch it? Like, what? Go ahead, peasant. I ain't touching that. It's over with. Go get one of them little freaks over there and they gonna grab it. You know what I'm saying? We were commanded not to touch it. How else that thing gonna get disposed? Not by us. That's a culture, that's a law for us. Right? So now pork, the Most High God said was unclean to us. Is that something that you can stop? Hey, man. Now you know what you can't eat? You got oxen, right? You ever had bison? Bison, I ain't gonna lie, that joint alright, I ain't gonna hold. That joint fire, I ain't gonna hold.
Buffalo, yeah.
Buffalo, hey, you feeling frisky, get you a buffalo, you mean? Hey, you feeling off the edge, you know what I'm saying? He said a buffalo. Hey bro, go hunt one down, come over here. We'll skin that joint and all that. You know what I'm saying? Look, you can eat certain fowls, like quails. You got peacocks, got chicken, right? You know what I'm saying? But like I said, oxen, got sheep, you ever had lamb? You know what I'm saying? You got goat. Hey, goat. This man been eating.
I'm a country boy, you know what I'm saying? So like, come on, bro.
Oh, you said, hold on, you said country boy. I gotta get on you. You ain't eat no squirrel before, right?
Yeah, I eat squirrel, rabbit.
Hey, bro, hey, leave that squirrel. Oh. Yeah, let that squirrel be. I know. All right. So you real? Where you from? Where you from?
I'm from Gainesville.
Who?
Gainesville, 50 miles northeast.
Oh, northeast. They that country out there? I don't know. It's like my third day out here. I'm saying that, but who?
Go down to Gainesville.
Gainesville is country. Dang, so they eating raccoons up there and all that.
I mean, you know, they
Nah, don't answer that. Go ahead. I don't even want to know. Yeah, don't even answer. But hey, look, sorry, salivating, man. Other than apostles.
a certain generation
Yeah.
Right.
That man's saying, you gotta get the right source.
The younger generation,
Yeah, hey, good. All praises, man. Get them off of that. But those things, hey, the Lord said we can't eat actually. Right? But lamb, goat, ox, all that. What else? Somebody name another drum.
You can even
I already said beef. His brother said giraffe. You know what I'm saying? Hell, there's some giraffe. Oh, deer. This brother, hey, we're gonna mark this brother. We're gonna mark this brother right here. He said he gonna give me some deer. I ain't never had deer before. You know what I'm saying? Up north, people don't really deal with that. We don't really go that deep, like deer and all that. But hey, I'll try, you know what I'm saying? But deer, you can eat deer. You know what I'm saying? You hunter and all that. He said buffalo. You had buffalo before? You got buffalo. Oh, this brother tough. See, I just told him he was getting a little, you know what I'm saying? He said buffalo. Yeah, I said frisky with it. You know what I'm saying? He frisky with the dietary law. But that's a fact. So those things you can actually eat. That's an abundance. Just to take out one, which is pork. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I think
you had it.
Yeah. Khan, I just read it over again. And the swan, because it divides the hoof, yet to have not the cud, it is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. All that have fins and scales shall ye eat.
So what has fins and scales in the water? Fish, right? Now, you know about 3, you can name 3 fish that have fins and scales. You know what I'm saying? You said what? Catfish, do they got fins and scales? They got fins. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got no scales. I'm telling you, every black person had a thing, every black person, every household had like one fish tank in there. I'm telling you, you point them out, somebody had a fish tank in there. Yeah, a little goldfish in there. But a lot of times they put like a little fish in there that stays on the glass. That's actually, what's it called? A species of catfish family, it's a fact. You know what I'm saying? They always did the same thing. There was bottom feeders. But you got like trout, you got bass, you got whiting, right? Red snapper, right? One brother, I forgot what joint he said. It started with G. Cooper. Yeah, Cooper. I said bass, I said bass. No, I said tilapia, my bad. I said red snapper, so now y'all, you know what I'm saying? You said what? Tuna, yeah, some tunas, yeah. Some tunas do have scales, but then there's also some that don't. Sardines is smooth. That's crazy.
Goddamn.
You said what?
Keep the sardines.
You say keep the sardines.
No sardines.
Brother, so the sardines is where you drew the line. What the heck? This man say yeah. This man say he took a rock and a slingshot, caught that dang squirt. No, he didn't say all that. I ain't gonna bear with him. He didn't say all that. Sardines being the law of dryness. Crazy. But hey, all praise to the Most High. Hey, it ain't a command to eat. You ain't got it. Hey man, all praise to the Most High. But hey, now it said those that don't have fins and scales, you shall not eat. Right? Such as what? Say catfish is one. What else don't have fins and scales? Bass got it? Yeah, bass got it. Fins and scales, yeah. What don't?
Talk about a cart. Father speaking as cart.
Yeah, hey, see, look, I gotta look that up. I don't know nothing about that. Cart?
Yeah, cart.
I don't know.
He just like the cat.
My word? See, I didn't know that. Yeah, National Geographic. Now, what about, alright, bet. What about shrimp? Shrimp? We got fins and scales?
Odors.
What about lobster? Crabs? What about mussels? Clams, oysters, octopus, squid? None of them. You used to eat them?
All praise.
All praises.
Hey.
So is that a hard thing to do? Brother, this is you getting back to your heritage, yo.
Right.
Your heritage, your culture. Get back to who you are. As a black man? Nah. As a black man, but as what? As a what? As an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. From an Israelite. Say that real quick.
Israelite.
An Israelite from the tribe of Judah, man. That's your actual nationality. That's what this world has taken away and stripped from you. That's what you actually are. Thus said the Most High God. Not thus said man. We ain't gonna talk about what man call us. Man call us crazy stuff. We already named some of the things that man called us, right? Outside of just colored and all that. Well, let me get my last closing. Let me get First Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 61. Let me get Sirach, chapter 36 and verse 11. Oh, you got something.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 36 and verse...
Actually, hold that. Yeah, I want the Maccabees first. First Maccabees 2 and 61.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 61. And thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. Fear not then the words of a sinful man.
It said what?
Fear not then the words of a sinful man.
Go ahead.
For his glory shall be dung and worm. Today he shall be lifted up.
So it said today he's going to be lifted up. These heathens and all these other nations that oppressed us, right now they're going to be lifted up. But go ahead.
And tomorrow he shall not be found.
I said what?
And tomorrow he shall not be found.
They're going to be without a trace, sir. Go ahead.
Because he is returned into his dust,
Right.
and his thought is come to nothing.
Go ahead.
Wherefore, you my sons, be valiant.
Be what?
Be valiant.
Go ahead.
And show yourselves men in the behalf of the law.
That's what a real man is. They're going to show themselves men on behalf of the law.
Right.
The laws and commandments of the Most High God. Right? Bring this up.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 36 and verse 11.
Go.
Gather all the tribes of Jacob together.
Gather all the tribes of Jacob together.
Inherit thou them as from the beginning.
So we're asking that the Most High God inherit the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Seminole Indians again as one, right? As it was from the beginnings. And with that, I'm gonna give a strong call halal to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Mashiach, woman like Yahweh Shai, and Kom Yasharallah.
Kom Yasharallah.
Kom Yasharallah.
Kom Yasharallah.
Kom Yasharallah.